Hello everyone, welcome to another video. You can tell things are looking a little bit different, and that's because we're going to be doing a tutorial on the Cooperstown ceiling fan from Harbor Breeze. I picked this guy up at my local big box hardware store. It was on sale and I couldn't say no because the fan here in my office is little and a little dismal, and it shakes and wobbles a little bit, so I'm hoping that this will kind of upgrade things. It's going to give us a much bigger fan. This is a 62-inch fan blade. Well, I'm just going to do a tutorial for you. If you bought one just like this one, this is the 0883774, I think is the model number. So if that's helpful in any way, hopefully it is. But I'm just going to go ahead and start with the unboxing, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into the tutorial on removing my old ceiling fan, which I'm just realizing now is also a Harbor Breeze. This one looks like it's from the 90s, but whatever. We're going to do a tutorial on taking that guy out and putting this guy in. So I'm actually going to start by apologizing ahead of time because it's a hot day today and I'm going to be working around here in my office. So I do have all of the fans on, windows open to kind of keep things cool. If you want to go ahead and skip the unboxing section and go straight to the installation, I'll leave a time code right here for you guys. So go ahead and head to that time code if you want to just jump to the install on this guy. However, if you're here for the unboxing to see what the experience is going to be like, go ahead and keep watching. Let's go ahead and start by just opening this guy up here. I believe this one was an open box and that's why it was on sale. Not totally sure, but we're going to find out. So far, it looks like it hasn't been opened yet. But right here we have our instruction manual maybe. And then right here on top we have our 5 fan blades. You have the option for a cool grayish brown wood or more darker walnut color. You can flip these either way, however you'd like. These are your fan blades. You can install them how you want. Next thing we see here. So then we have our light section here. This is where our light bulbs will go in. This is rated for up to 60-watt light bulbs on either side. I'm going to be running LEDs, so that won't really matter to me. And then next we also have this little cone sconce. You're going to have a post that's going to go through this guy, and so this is just going to be a decorative trim to keep everything looking good. This, I assume, is going to be that post that I was just telling you about. Has a grounding cable on it, as well as a pin to hold everything together. Next, we have a whole bunch of these guys. These are the arms that connect to your fan blades. I'll go ahead and just pull one of them out of the bag here. So these are like a brushed nickel design. Kind of like that style, but it's very much a stamped, or not stamped, but injection molded metal. It is metal though. That's nice. Alright, now let's go down to our second layer here. In here we can see our main motor assembly, but let's go ahead and start with our glass dome. This is a pretty big glass dome here. The dome itself is about 12.5 inches across here. Then we have the section that'll mount to our ceiling. This will be taken apart in the installation process. It looks like a couple of light bulbs come with it. These are some pretty little 8.5 watt, 3000 Kelvin, 800 lumen light bulbs. So you have 2 of these that come in the box. That's nice that you don't have to provide your own light bulbs. However, these are pretty small. They do still have the standard light bulb plug, that's the E26 is what it's referred to as, but the light bulb itself is smaller than usual. And lastly, I saved it for the very end because it's the heaviest piece, is our motor. This is our fan motor right here. You can see that is heavy duty. Check that out. Again, with the brushed nickel design, modern, sleek. Alright, that's going to do it for the unboxing. Let's go ahead and start on the uninstallation process of the current light, and then we'll jump into installing this guy. And for our safety sallies out there, we're going to go ahead and start by making sure that this is off by flipping it off at the switch, as well as going to the circuit breaker and turning off the power here so that you don't accidentally get electrocuted. Believe it or not, it's not common for them to send installation instructions with, you know, ceiling fans. So we're just gonna go ahead and figure this guy out. There's usually about 3 of these little screws here all the way around it. So we'll just go ahead and release 2 of those until we can get this guy out. And then we'll go ahead and ditch this old light bulb here. Look at that, running on old styles too. All right, next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take off these fan blades. All right, next thing we're gonna do is remove this casing here. We're gonna loosen this screw, remove this one. We're only loosening the one that has the little J by it. We'll do the exact same thing on the back side as well. Now all we have to do is rotate the whole casing and it'll slide right down and off. All right, and the wrench you'll need is the one that everyone wishes they had, a elusive 10mm wrench. So right here we have a hook, so we'll want to remove the 2 little nuts on this side first. That little hook catches it while it's coming down. And now we can remove it from the other side. And now that hook here holds it so that we can disconnect all of our wiring. All right, now that they've all been disconnected, we can go ahead and take this guy off. Most of you won't run into this issue. However, my home is 100 years old, and so the wires that are running here are also 100 years old, so they are just wrapped in cloth without colors on them. So, to help me stay oriented, I've go ahead and wrapped a piece of black electrical tape over what would be our hot or black wire, and then here is our neutral wire. Now we can take off this plate here. Looks like the previous homeowner may have jerry-rigged this all in here. Well, let me do some investigating and we will be right back. Alright, so I'm going to show you the best I can of what's going on here. So, again, a 100-year-old home, things were made different. So this is not sheetrock, this is what they call lap and plaster. So it's this stuff here, and it's a mix of like hair and mud, I guess. And then it's laid over slats of wood. So there is wood all across this thing, which makes it great for mounting things. You could probably throw a screw anywhere and hit wood to hang a picture frame or anything. So in our situation, we got a piece of wood here, and we got a piece of wood here, and they are running this way and this way. And then behind that, you can see our electrical coming through another piece of wood there. So we are going to try and screw into this piece of wood here and this piece of wood here when mounting our bracket. However, that is not going to line up with our big circle here. So we may have to come back and do some painting. I'm not terribly worried about that. So the first thing we're gonna do is take apart this section here. Now, don't think you need an electric screwdriver just because I have one. You can use a regular old Phillips screwdriver. I just like mine. I paid for it, why not use it? And just like our first one we were talking about where we removed 2 and then loosened 2, the ones with the little J holes, we're just gonna loosen them. And you can see right here we got those little J's, so we're going to slide it to the left and lift up and out. Set aside the brush nickel section. So this part here, typically they want you to mount it to an electrical box, but because that is not something I have, we're going to mount it straight to our lap and plaster, just like this. Like that, and then I'm going to throw a couple of screws right in there. That is solid. I feel like I could hang from that. And the next thing we need to do is flip this guy over. Jeez, that's heavy. Ugh. And we need to remove our motor blocks here. You need to make sure to keep the screws. You can throw away the block and the washers here, but you have to make sure you keep your screws because those are going to be used to install your fan blades. Now we can flip this guy back over to here. Alright, now we're going to take this section here, this is called the down drop, and we're going to go ahead and pull this pin here, pull that pin there, and then we need to loosen this screw here. Make sure that we loosen both of these set screws here. So we want to make sure we pay attention for this next section here. So this is our down drop here. We're keeping the bulb side, or you know, the bulbous side, whatever. We're going to send it through our canopy, is what this guy's called, the part that we removed. And then we come in with this guy, and then we're going to slide that on just like that, okay? And now we take all of this wiring and we thread it through here. Right here, I went ahead and just twisted all these together. It's not going to be permanently, but it's going to help thread everything through here just like that. Alright, and if we did everything correctly, we should be able to slide that in, and then from the other side here, we should be able to feed our down drop pin all the way through, just like that. Install our retaining pin. Once that pin is in, we can now retighten our set screws. And then to make your own life easier, it makes sense to go ahead and cut any excess wire off of this thing. While you could just bundle it up and tuck it up in there, it's going to be a lot easier to just kind of cut off all of this excess. A good way to measure on how much you need is go to your grounding wire here, and then I'll give myself just a couple of fingers extra here, and we'll go ahead and cut it right there. You don't need all the same tools I have. You can just use like a razor or a regular knife, anything you have to strip these wires back, and then we can go ahead and continue. All right, now at this section you may need some assistance. Right here we have our ring, and then right here we have our big knob. So we're gonna lift up in and then drop it down in there so it can catch it. So let's go ahead and lift this guy up and in, and there we go. It's on. I know it's hard to show you. I'm trying to show you the best I can, but there you go. Now we get to do the fun part, wiring. All right, so we got our neutral, and our neutral, remember we wrapped electrical tape around our hot wire because it does look the same. So we got those separated, and we're gonna go ahead and just wire nut that together real quick. This kit does come with these little wire nut things. Start by just twisting these wires together, and then shove that on and twist, twist, twist until it won't twist anymore. So let's go ahead and do our ground. There are 2 green wires. If you have any other ground wires, you'll want to incorporate those at this time. Mine, unfortunately, did not have a ground coming from our switch. So we'll just have to ground our base here and ground our light here. Twist, twist, twist. We do want to make sure that there is no wire hanging outside of this nut. If there is, go ahead and cut off that extra wire. Same for all of your other connections here. No excess wire hanging out. And if your home is wired with 2 wires, one for the fan and one for the light itself, this blue one here is for the light itself, so you can decide where that one goes to, and then the black one here goes to the fan. So the blue one here goes to the light, the black one goes to the fan itself. In my situation, I only have 1 hot line coming in, so we're going to take all 3, the blue, the black, and our hot line from the home, and connect them all. Twist, twist, twist. You can't twist no more. Now we can go ahead and tuck all of our wiring in here, and then align this little J-hook with the one that we loosened and did not take out. Now we can twist it. Make sure all your wires are still tucked up in there. Now we can go ahead and finish tightening down the 2 that were already in there. All right, the hard part is done. Now we get to decide whether we want to see the gray blades or the brown blades, and we can assemble our fan. Before installing your screws, you'll want to put on a little paper washer, and then we can come in with your screw. There we go. Don't freak out if there is extra washers and screws. Mine came with an extra washer and a screw. Alright, and now we'll go ahead and align our holes and get these guys installed using those screws that we pulled out earlier. Now we go from trying to figure out wiring to we just gotta plug and play. This guy has a little tab on it there. So that little tab will align with this guy here. Just go ahead and plug that guy in, just like that till it clicks. There we go. And now we can take out these 3 screws, push this guy up, and then put those screws in. Now we can install our included light bulbs here.
You guys are little.
Look how cute and little they are.
Before the end of the video, we'll find out for sure if this will actually take
Larger bulbs too, but we'll start with the ones that come with it. Now we're going to go ahead and remove this little piece here. This is a little screw that unthreads. Once you've taken off that cover, there is a screw with a plastic washer or a rubber washer here, or a nut. We'll go ahead and pull that guy off. This is just going to be finger tight. Once you've got everything all taken apart here, we can go ahead and take our string and feed it through here. That's kind of a guide so that everything will be aligned and will slide freely. Now it's time for the glass bolt. Alright, and now we use that little nut. We feed that up through at the same time. And this will hold our glass up while we install the next part. Our next part is this little silver cap that we took off earlier. Again, we're feeding through the center hole, the centerpiece, and through the side hole. Our fan cord here. I'm going to grab our little decorative nut, thread that on. Everything gets held on like that. And now for our last attachments, we have our poles. We got one here that has a fan on it. The other one here has a light bulb. So obviously light bulb goes to the center one. If not obvious for you, now you know. And then our one with the fan on it goes to our offset one for the fan blades. Now here in my office, this ceiling's a little lower. And so this isn't a flush mount one because I got the cheapest one at the store. This I'm gonna walk into, and I don't want to. So what you can do is you can actually trim these guys down. So to shorten these guys up, you'll actually just take it off, and then you'll figure out what length you want. And then of course you wanna leave enough that you can still have enough to work with this to get it back on. So we'll go ahead and cut it right there. And this guy, just go like that. There we go, nice and short. Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. And now, it might bump my head, but it won't be as obnoxious. Let's turn it on, see if it works. Alright, let's go ahead and see if it'll turn on. There we go, we got a light and the fan. I can hear it going. I just gotta move some air. Listen to that go. So if you ever hear this in the background of the video, I forgot to turn off the fan. But let's go ahead and turn it down. And so this does have 3 speed settings. You got the high, the medium, and the low. You won't be able to tell a big difference like on the video now, but like there is a big difference. Alright, and then before the video ends, I do still want to test one more thing. I want to see if a regular light bulb will fit in here, or even a larger light bulb. Some of the smart LED light bulbs I have are bigger than normal, and so let me go ahead and slide this guy off, and we're going to go ahead and see if I can get one of my smart bulbs to fit in here, or if I have to use their tiny size light bulbs. For comparison, this is the difference, the size difference. This came with the light here, and this is my smart Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi smart bulb. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's got like RGB. It's got voice controls through like Google, Alexa, or through the app. So we're gonna go ahead and see if this guy will fit in here with that glass bowl still. And it looks like, that's right, it does fit. It fits. Let's
See how close it is. It does hit it if the bowl is not centered, but like honestly, once you get it all installed, you're good to go. So it will take larger light bulbs. You don't need their tiny little light bulbs here.
And that is the Cooperstown ceiling fan. As you can see in the picture, it's got like the light gray blades, and then I ended up going with the dark brown, I don't know, walnut, mahogany looking stuff. But that is the fan. It took about 2 hours for me to record that video. I imagine that if you didn't have a 100-year-old home and try to film it at the same time, you could probably do this whole process in about an hour. It's pretty reasonable to me. Overall, it was actually really easy to install. It had reasonably clear instructions. There were a couple of things like they use terminology that's like, okay, this is what they call it, but like I don't know what you would call it otherwise too. They're just like I like the drop post or something like that. I don't know. The one with the bulbous knob on it. That part, like I was like, how do we come up with what that's going to be called? This one is a 62-inch model. I know they have a few different sizes available, but this is the 62-inch one that I installed in my office here. I know I mispronounced this a few times. I kept on calling it the Cooperstown. It is the Cooperstown. There's an S in there, Cooperstown, by Harbor Breeze. And then right here again, that model number is 08837774. One feature I really like about this is like my old ceiling fan, I actually would turn it off while filming these videos just because it had like a humming noise. And this new one, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can't. Right now it's on. I have it on its lowest setting, which is surprisingly slow. Like it's still moving and it's just circulating air, which is kind of nice, but it's definitely not like blowing air around, cooling the room. It's just circulating air in the room, and it's nice how quiet and how slow it goes. Like my computer's hard drive is louder than that thing right now. And then once it does get up to full speed, it is cooking. If you don't have pieces of paper that have like, I don't know, a paperweight on them, you'll definitely know, and those papers will be moving. So use accordingly. But that is the ceiling fan. I'll have links to this down below. I am an Amazon affiliate, so using those links do help support this channel with no additional cost to you. Of course, I told you in the beginning, I bought this myself, so it's not sponsored or anything like that by Harbor Breeze. I'm just doing a video on something that I got for my home, and we're gonna be able to have a better office for it now. If you have questions about this or anything else you've seen in the video, please leave those in the comments below. If you have recommendations, you're like, hey, you could have done this better, or this is actually a better tip, leave those in the comments below. I'll be sure to pin any valuable comments down there. And thank you so much for watching. If you think I've earned it, please consider subscribing. Share this video if you think it might be helpful to someone, and we'll see you guys in the next video.